Hang on.
Little friend?
Wait. Okay, now it's on. Hello to my subscribers, my YouTube channels. We just finished yoga with Kaisen. Kaisen's over there, looking for something in the fridge.
Bottled water.
And where are we? What are we doing today? We're doing some kind of oil. Mixing oil.
Are you showing this?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I did is I'm Amanda, and I got some new essential oils recently, and so I knew I was going to be hanging out with Kyson and Janet, and so I brought some stuff for us to just kind of explore and share and learn about, because I don't know a lot. I know some things. I have a good friend named Shelly who gave me this book
Oh.
to use.
Essential oil.
And so what it does is it kind of connects the emotions to essential oils. And I really enjoy it. The most recent oil that I made was actually for my nails, because I started using nail polish again. And so my nails were getting kind of dry and brittle. And so I did a little research and I found that certain oils help the nails. So what I used was lemon and frankincense with argan oil. And so, like all things, we go in cycles. So like, I'm into my oils again.
Yay.
So I just brought stuff so we could kind of check out some new things. We're just sharing that, explore. And we're gonna make some little, I always have like rollerball containers with me, with my stuff. So we're just gonna use some carrier oil and some oils that we feel drawn to make, each of us is gonna make our own, like, personalized oil rollerball. Oh, this is a new one too. Okay.
I forget. Okay, let's do it. I'm
Okay.
so
So
thirsty.
these are the new ones that I got. I got Clary Sage, which is new. And I always have lemon. I love lemon.
Can you text Ellie?
Yeah.
Because I'm
Vetiver.
using their phone.
I think that's how you say it. Vetiver, patchouli I got new.
Surely.
Ginger.
Which one is your favorite?
I figure if we love ginger in our tea and everything else, that it
yes.
probably has some good properties to it. Cardamom. Love it in my chai tea, so I thought
Yes.
check that out.
Kaisa, do me a favor. Can you warm this up for me, please? Por favor.
Yes.
Roman chamomile was another new one for me.
Please. Okay.
Cedarwood
You like that?
is a new one.
No. In my room.
Yeah, I know.
And bergamot.
Water in it.
Those are my new ones.
What is that? Bergamot?
Bergamot. Yeah, so.
I don't like that.
Some of the scents I have found for myself.
I like it.
Like, I don't know what I like until I know I like different like spices and woods.
It's like lemon.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I like lemon.
Yeah, it has citrusy, right?
It's lemony. Is that even a word?
Yeah.
Lemony actually is, but I don't think it has anything to do with lemons. I think it's something to do with taxes.
Oh.
With what?
Taxes? What?
I think lemony has something to do with, I don't know. Or maybe
Is
I'm
it-
just,
You're good
Is
at
that like the equivalent of being salty?
yeah, I think so. Yeah. I'm sure.
Let's see, so bergamot.
Patchouli, let me smell the patchouli. Don't you have the thing that you could smell it through like a stick? They have that. Remember? When we did the training, they have a stick.
Yeah, I don't have any of that.
Oh.
Like, this is all my stuff that I have right now. Like, I'm getting a little low on my
Where did you order this?
rollerball. This is when we did that workshop. Remember?
Yeah. You
See,
said
but
that.
like sometimes I react to fragrances like to some of the oils like that
Patchouli.
too.
It's too strong.
But if you just
You
put
can
like
have-
one drop, it's not going to be as strong. You know what I mean?
Yes. Can we use this for Shavasana?
Yeah.
To rub it.
Yes. That's why I brought stuff so you can make yourself your own.
Okay.
But remember, I did bring my book today. because I've been kind of bad at that. Really, we should be labeling the bottles
Oh yeah.
when you make something. If you can't label it right now, we
Well,
should at
what
least
is
write
your
it
sticky
down.
Sticker.
Those stickers didn't work very well. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, the stickers
That's
to me don't work very well.
My chef.
I think you need to be able to print them. You like there's
yeah.
some that you can
There's-
buy and print
yes.
them,
Yes.
and then they stick better.
Oh,
This is my journal.
this is perfect. It's hot. You need the hot one.
No one look at my journal.
I was talking about that too. One of my things, it says you have to be journaling, gardening, meditation, yoga. What else?
This is one of my.
Create a space
This is
in
one
your
of my
presence
journals.
moment. Something I really. Oh, well, I got that from the magazine. You know the magazine I was reading? That was amazing.
So, and what I have found with my journaling is that I just need to write. It doesn't matter like whether it's personal or school or maybe something like this. I just need to keep journaling. And I've kind of learned that this year from the school experience that teachers are having. I keep like a book in front of
Even
me.
HEB lists, like you put lists, you could even put it in there.
Anything, yeah. The only thing is like if you have real personal stuff, you don't want to carry it with you.
I know, we read it last time with the guy from Jenna's.
Oh no. Oh
Right?
yeah.
He made
Yes,
it big,
yes, he
like
did
how
some
he
cool-
had those
yeah.
kind of crazy
Like thoughts.
sex stuff.
Oh no, I don't think I
He
read
did
that.
that.
part.
I was like, oh, why am I reading this?
No, yeah. And so like things like if I'm gonna make an oil and
Yeah.
I'm drawn to making an oil,
You want to do the
then
journal?
I can keep a journal on it and maybe
Professional
I'll
and
kind of know
crazy. Do you journal?
what I'm like what drew me to
I don't
making
know
that
if
that
it's
day.
So do I journal is a very good question.
Yeah, I want to hear that.
I do not journal, and I'll tell you why I do not journal.
Because you're paranoid and you're afraid that somebody will see it.
No, because I found that when I journaled
Yeah.
on a regular basis, this is just my personal. I found that when I journaled on a regular basis, I would get inspiration to do things, but then it would get buried in my inspiration. Like it would get buried in that journal, and I would come back to it 2 or 3 years later, going, "Oh yeah."
So you would lose the action.
So now what I do is I post it. So like, if I'm gonna do something, I give myself no more than like 7 days
You
to
post
do it.
it into social
I just
media.
do it. Like I put it on my
Post it,
schedule
yeah,
immediately.
Yeah, on
So
a
my
schedule
journaling is more
or
like
on
a
a post-it
schedule.
note, like sitting in front of you.
Yeah, and it's just because I found
Because
that
that's what I have found. Like, if once I write it in my journal, like I have to go back and reread what I put.
I like that.
Because when you go back and reread, like, because remember Lindy would have us do like a 5-year plan, a 10-year
I
plan, a
know.
1-year plan.
I
Those
said
are
I
sitting
can't
in
do
my
that.
trunk right now. And every once in a while, I'll like go back there and I'm like, oh wow, oh gosh, I need to work on that. But I think that's kind of what your experience.
Yeah.
Like if like journaling isn't just moving forward.
Yeah, sometimes it's moving.
Journaling is going back and looking, what did I write? What was okay?
Yeah.
And so it becomes an ever changing. I have this. He's never on social media, but I actually have a pros and cons of staying with my boyfriend.
Oh,
But to speak to your point,
okay.
I don't journal per se, but I think it's very important to write regularly.
Mm-hmm.
So whether that's creative writing, whether that's technical writing, whether that's business writing, like something for my business, like almost every day I write. And I try to, because I think that's like, there is something very important about putting paper to pad, you know what I mean? And getting those things out of your head and getting them written down.
I like that.
I don't know a single successful person that says to not do that.
Oh yeah, this was when we did the last spa we did
I'm glad you
together.
still have
That
it.
we did the cold water spa instead of the warm water,
Yes.
and so it's also a place where I can go back and write notes.
Yoga spa?
Uh-huh. This is the one when we did the
You wanna
cold
see it?
water.
That'd be
And so
okay.
they were my ideas and what I thought. It wasn't during the summer.
Ooh,
So we did a cold water instead of a hot water.
I like that.
Man.
But I think
Sorry.
in the future I wrote me a note that said like give people a choice instead of just making it all cold. So that's one thing I'm learning about my journaling. I'm still not that good at it. Like this is
You're
from-
getting better. I'm not that good.
This is like when we were in
You're
Gilly
still
last.
learning. Yes.
And then I broke my leg and didn't leg until February, and I broke it in August.
This is what-
Let's see. what it is.
I get stuck to things. Like I bought some and then mix it with stuff.
Self-acceptance.
Okay.
Bergamot, it supports the individual in need of self-acceptance and self-love. Bergamot invites individuals to see life with, his name's here, Brayton Amadon. And he has an email, theoilgentleman@gmail.com.
Okay.
And all his instructions to her was, when you're done with it, pass it on.
Okay, pass it on to me.
So I happened to like open to the Roman chamomile, which was one of the ones that I wanted to find out about. Imagine that. And so that one says the oil of spiritual purpose supports an individual in discovering and living their true life purpose. Okay, we gotta have both of those. I don't know how they're gonna smell together. But.
So how can we just smell and which one is our favorite, or we gonna?
Then you could find out about it. My impression for oils personally is that if there's something that I really like, or I think I like, because I've always smelled them in connection with other oils, I want to explore it and see why. And this book is interesting because like those are two things that I've been like focused on this year. Like for the beginning of the year, I was like, okay, these are things I want to focus on, things I want to keep moving forward with. And so for those two to also be the first ones that I open and go, oh, look.
Yes.
But they're perfect. So now I'm like, okay, do I want to go? I know for my own knowledge, I know that like orange and citrus smells are brightening. So maybe these two with a citrus would be a brightening feeling for me when I use it. And it also will remind me of that I need to accept myself. I need to be okay with who I am so that I can continuously move forward.
Right, as an encouragement instead of some sort
And then the
of negative.
spiritual is to be okay with my spiritual journey. I used to practice Catholicism, and I really don't anymore.
Why?
Why? What I have found from my own life experience and journey is that Catholicism for me was somewhat too structured and too, it didn't allow me self-acceptance. I think that's what it is. Like there's so much judgment in it.
Really?
Within religious, within like secular religion, there's so much judgment of each other, of yourself, and the truth is, I believe that I'm a good person who tries to make the right choices and be kind and generous to people around me as much as I can. But I also believe, and this is not very religious, that I have the right to limit the exposure of other people's negativity and hatred and harshness. I have the right to limit that in my life.
Yes,
I don't have to accept it. It's okay for me to push that away. And that's not really encouraged within many religions.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of like a full circle because my family were Jesuits, there's not a lot of them, but there are still some Jesuits left in Catholicism. They're out there. You dig deep enough, you'll find.
So what's the difference? Because I'm not familiar.
But
I've heard that word recently.
I always tell people the difference between the Templars and the Jesuits is a single etymology. So the Templars were warrior priest, and the Jesuits were priest warriors. What you put first determines their guidance.
Which makes sense.
One group flourished, and one group got almost wiped out, and so there's not a lot of Jesuits. But there was always my family's priest used to always tell a Catholic joke. He loved telling jokes. He's a crazy old Irishman. And he would always tell this joke about judgment. He would do it when he was talking about judging people. And he said that, when you die and you go to heaven, and St. Peter takes you up to the highest parts, and he takes you around, and he takes you to see all of this. This is like where the Hindus are practicing, and they're floating in heaven. And he's like, oh, and you pass this big hedge, tall hedge, like where you can't see, like the old British ones where you couldn't see over it. And he goes, what's there? And he goes, don't worry about it. And he keeps going, and then he shows them like the Vikings, and these Vikings, and it's loud and boisterous, and people are falling out of it, and there's like fighting, and their axe flies over, and he's like, just be careful over there, but that's their Valhalla. That's where the Vikings are all in heaven. And he goes, and there's these people that are
As if that's their heaven, still fighting.
they're still fighting over there. And he's like, yeah, that's their heaven.
Okay.
He sees these like, these dark-skinned natives, and they have these like deep practices, and they're like forming energy and like doing this like these magics almost. And he goes, yeah, that's like Africans. That's all of their heavens. And as they're going around, he spends the whole day giving this guy, giving you a tour of heaven.
Yeah. Oh.
And finally, St. Peter, takes you back to the source, and he goes, okay, well, now that you're here, your everlasting life, this is where your soul's going to be forever. And what heaven do you want to go to? And he's like, well, what about that hedge? He goes, shh, keep your mouth down. Shh, be quiet. He's like, that's the Catholics' heaven. They think they're the only ones up here. And that's the joke that my priest is always saying.
Yeah.
He said, you can't judge people. He's like, because if you're a good person and God takes care of you, you'll go to heaven.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's how he would preach it.
Yeah.
But that's not a very common belief.
And so
in
for
religion.
me, I've had to make some very harsh decisions in my life that were very, very hard. And I went through some Bible studies with Father Martinez at Holy Family. And things that he shared and the way he talked about how we should be as Christians, to me was a very different message during Bible study, because I was able to ask hard questions that you don't get to ask that during a mass. You're just being preached to during a mass. And so from those Bible studies, I learned a lot about myself and my relationship with my religion. And so that changed the way I saw things spiritually. I believe that what my life experience has told me, that people who have a spirituality about them, who believe in goodness, believe in being the best person they can be in an outward way toward the world, those are the people I want to be around.
Yeah.
And very, very few of them were religious.
Yeah.
They had a spiritual connection with the God they believed in, and it came through in their personality and the way they treated others. And I didn't always see that in the Catholic religion.
You don't see that in many religions. You don't see that. You can, it's hard to say. I try to remind people that there's been Catholics on both sides of wars for thousands of years. There's been Jews on both sides of wars for thousands of years. It's hard to say, Hitler was Catholic, but then, so was Mussolini. And then,
What?
But then
He
so
is?
was
He was?
like, the Americans that were going
I
over
didn't
there.
know that.
Yeah. So it's like, so who was right? Who was the more Christian person?
There's a distortion in the belief system.
Right.
I feel and if you're able to live within that religion, I think it can be a good thing. But unfortunately, when men start to dictate to each other what their spiritual behaviors should be, you start to get a distorted view of spiritualism.
The Shinto, they believed that the emperor was the next thing to God, and they should listen to him. So they felt that, they could be suicide bombers and bomb their planes into American ships all through war. And then when the war ended, Japan was just like, well, he's not an emperor anymore. The emperor's not God, I guess.
Really?
But at the same time, we're this wonderful Christian, country that is to date still the only country in the world to use nuclear weapons.
Right.
Just massive slaughter. Only America. We're the only ones that have done it.
Right.
So there is. So it's
and
hard
the
to go.
whole world learned from us how horrible it was.
Right.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, these terrible countries. It's like, yeah, but only one country's actually ever used them. We're sitting in it. So there is that level of what you said, or it's like what's being preached out there isn't necessarily the beliefs of the core. So I feel you on that.
And unfortunately, we're seeing that more and more in our American culture right now.
Right now, she can't turn the news on without that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And it's heartbreaking, and
people
who tend to feel those things, empaths, this is a rough time.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I think it's gonna be okay now.
If
I feel like
you
we're gonna be okay.
empathic people. You know, if people go, all right, you're an empath, you're a snowflake or something. I'm just like, that's a scary time when empathy is looked at as something special to have.
Yeah.
And I thought
that's
everyone
weird.
should have it.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Well, that's
easy.
something that we
say.
we talk about in school too with young children.
Yeah.
You know, it's part of the IB program is to understand empathy and to start developing empathy for each other. So I'm glad that I'm in that program. I'm trying not to make a mess because I know what I want to do and I'm going to try it.
I'm just writing this one. This is really good one.
Okay, so at
this
the
one.
back of that book.
Wait. Okay,
Oh,
go.
you got it. Yeah. Take a
Yes.
picture.
That's
Well,
how
no,
Jane
but
does.
writing.
Oh.
That's how I
it
do it.
But the truth is, writing it down, you'll remember it better, and you're more likely to go back to it.
I go back to this. It's page 85 is the one I picked.
Yeah, there's
So,
recipes at the
85
back. That's what she's
page.
finding.
When I was a kid, I remember watching Knight Rider. I know this is like off topic, but you'll see. I'll get back to it.
No, yeah.
Go for it.
I remember watching Knight Rider, and Knight Rider was, for those of you not in America watching this, Knight Rider was a show about a talking car that was a special futuristic car that the driver had like a friendship with. And this artificial intelligence was his friend, but it was also a car, and they went on adventures.
I remember watching it.
Michael Knight.
This is hazelnut oil that I'm using right now.
Hello, Michael. And I remember being a kid thinking,
Basic.
I want a car to be my friend. I want a talking car. And I remember that the future seemed so far away. It seemed so implausible that a car could talk to you.
Yep.
And
Well,
now,
how old were you when that?
oh jeez,
That's 1970 something.
Like between 10 and 15 years old, maybe? I don't even know.
it was
Because
80s.
we're similar in age,
Yeah,
right?
it was
In the
80s.
80s.
It was mid 80s, 86.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think.
I was a little bit older. I was starting high school
Yeah.
around that time.
Yeah, it was like 86. So yeah, that. Just remember thinking like, we'll never live in a world where that's a thing, right?
Okay, but there was also the Jetsons.
Oh yeah, well there was Jetsons too, yeah. But it's just like that was that thought in my head. And now when you're in the car and you're arguing with Siri on directions, and you have this like, what I mean about this is, we have these projections of how the world should be.
Uh-huh.
And many times, this is like religions, they say, this is what it means to be a good Christian, this is what you must do. This is like speaking to your point about feeling kind of tunneled in or trapped on like a railroad where you're not able to really make your own choices. So we felt like this is how the world should be, and this is how it has to be. And what we never thought about was, how annoying Siri would be. There was no upgrades for Kit that went wrong. You know what I mean? there was no moments.
Babe.
I got you.
Okay.
Okay. There's never a moment where Kit had upgrades go wrong and he had to like shut
Can
down
you join
completely.
us?
Yeah. Because that we never thought about that. All we thought was, it'd be so much fun
Watch
and how
out.
great it would be.
That's his chair. That's his phone.
Please share.
Him.
I'm not gonna sit there, honey. I'm gonna go over here. Put this up.
And so I don't know. I think that's kind of funny how that we had these thought patterns. Let's go from.
Yeah.
And
It was very interesting.
Huh?
Yeah.
Was Eddie cooking?
Yeah.
He did. He did.
Oh,
He did? You cooked already?
It's
I
right here.
smell
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
hot. Like I smell something cooked.
I need a little table. I mean a table. The
yeah, I'm looking for it right now.
No, just. Oh, did I wash? Oh, I think.
I don't- it's not
I think
that
I'm washing them.
Okay.
This is the dryer, huh? The one that the
The
brown
white
thing?
one? Oh, you got it? You found it?
The white.
It's in the dryer.
I think it's in the dryer,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Would you mind?
No.
I'll
Oh,
put
we
this
normally
out.
use, right? You talk
I'll put
about
this out
honey?
instead.
I don't even
Oh, wait, baby. It's
Yeah,
okay.
don't worry about it.
I
I'll
don't
put
know
this out
what's
instead.
Then that's gonna be there.
Because this one really has more of a
Yeah, but we take
lemon.
it to the beach, so it's
Okay.
fine.
Come here, babe.
Love it.
I like
It's
this.
so good.
What?
What?
It's a
Oh.
video. You
You didn't
always.
say that. You didn't say that, honey.
You gotta go the back way, buddy.
Yeah. I didn't know. But what do you want me to see? What are those?
Oils.
What are those?
I brought some of my oils today.
Just go on me.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna squeeze right by your foot.
You're good?
Just don't make it weird.
So I have these two of these. So it's perfect for doing yoga at the beach.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't like them. She loves them. That's
For
just a
sand, it's you can just
Yeah,
black.
it does. It does
That's
not
why.
collect sand, which is the
Yeah.
nice part about it.
Yeah.
I'll give you that much. I'll
Thank you.
concede
You
that
did 3.
much.
I think I need 5.
I always like.
Man, I had strawberries and I forgot to bring them.
I'm
I
not
just
talking
realized when I
about.
looked at your connection here, Eddie,
And
that I had
5.
strawberries and I completely forgot to bring them.
Get a plate, boo, over there.
Hold on, honey, I'm doing something. Okay.
Thank God. First time Kaisen is doing it for me.
Yeah, I never do this.
Yeah, you never do. I always do it. I need a break.
Okay.
She got energy.
The chamomile is so strong.
Why? You never like lavender.
I love
I
lavender.
have to be careful
We
with
both-
lavender.
he's-
I can
he's
get
not
rash and I can get headaches
Yeah.
from the lavender.
Clove does that to me.
Yeah, I have to be
Clove.
Yeah, but it's also really good if I have like, if I get bit by something, or I like, if
Turn
I,
it down, babe.
I'll use clove. Or like, you know, if I go camping, I'll put clove on before I go camping, even though it's kind of rough on my skin, because it keeps all the critters off you. They don't like clove. It's like natural mosquito spray.
I see.
Clove.
Clove, yeah. They don't, they hate
I think I have clove.
Where do you
I
buy
need it.
your essential oil?
clove and mint, but clove is stronger.
You order online?
So
Sometimes-
these new ones that I've been doing are from a company called Melaleuca. Melaleuca is
Because there's essential everywhere.
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah. But the
I
newest
know.
place that I've been buying them from is from Melaleuca. But it's a you can order directly from Melaleuca. If you're not a member, you pay more.
Okay.
I do have a membership,
okay.
and I get like
Do
I
you
get
have
all kinds of stuff
basil?
from them.
Do you have a basil, grapefruit,
I
cypress,
do
marjoram,
not
and other essential
have
oil? Not
grape-
all of it.
I don't have all like no I this and I didn't bring everything with me. I brought some with me.
Babe, do you have your phone? I need to
But
make
no,
a
I
picture.
don't have everything. I mean,
It's-
there's just so
it's a
many
relaxation.
oils.
Or other essential oil. So meaning I can
There's
put
so
some
many
lavender
oils. I feel like this
oil.
one's maybe. I don't know. It's grapeseed.
So see, I'm not a fan of grapeseed. Even as a
It's
carrier
fine.
oil,
It's okay, right?
it is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just not a huge fan of it. I always prefer almond, or I want to like try this hazelnut because I
The
think it might be
hazelnut
like,
doesn't have a strong smell.
because I like almond. I'm thinking hazelnut would be the
I
closest
like
to it.
almond too.
Yeah.
That's one of mine.
Kylie, what
And
do
then
you
the
want?
argan is really good. I do the
Oh,
argan
Italian
for my
dressing?
nails.
Thank you.
I gotta see
Where's your phone? Pictures, babe.
something.
Go to the new one.
It's inside the. Yeah.
It needs more. Man, that chamomile's strong. I need lime. That's what I think I need.
I don't know where I was going with that rant on.
Sorry,
religion.
we got all.
Yeah, we got all discombobulated, but it just made me think of like how you said you didn't like being that. I don't even want to say railroaded, but it's almost like
Plain side.
you live this. You have to do these things as a child, which leads you to these things as an adult. You marry this person in this type of way. You live this life. Your kids do this thing, and then you die, and when you die, you go to this place.
Yeah.
I talked to a gentleman. That's where I was going with it. I talked to a gentleman the other day. We were talking about religion and spirituality. And he brought up a thought, and I've been around religion my whole life, and I have never run into someone with this particular belief system. And tell me if you guys have. His belief is that when you die, where you think you go is where you go.
That kind of makes sense.
He's like, so if you think you're going to heaven, you go to heaven. If you think you're going to hell, you go to hell. If you think you go nowhere, you go out into the cosmos and just become ether.
Heart of the earth.
Part of the earth.
Heart of the
Yeah. And I kind of went, I don't think I've ever run into anyone. I was like, there's a lot of beliefs. I've run into a lot of people over
Yeah.
years. I don't think I've ever anyone that had this particular belief. I thought, I was like, that's interesting. I don't know if I agree, but it is
Okay,
interesting.
but to me that kind of goes along with the whole idea of there not being a single God.
Mhm.
Or that there's a different representation of the same God throughout many religions. It's just the perception and the way that religion evolved over time that dictates their relationship with that God and how they view it. Because when you study religions, which I know you have done, you see all these commonalities
Indeed.
throughout,
Indeed.
over and over and over again. And when you start to see that, you can start to think like, wait a minute, are these all really related and connected anyway? Ginger, let's see. Ooh, that's a good one.
Gotcha.
Empowerment.
Ginger.
That's the next one that I was gonna put in mine.
What do you feel like blending?
I'm gonna read the book. I figured I would let you guys do it.
I got the,
Yes,
you know
okay.
me, it's relaxing.
I'm gonna do ginger.
I got the number 85.
Okay, how many am I doing? Because I
you.
gotta keep track.
You don't even have the thing that I want.
Sorry.
Hey, what's your knife?
It's
Sure.
there.
No, and so many of those blends have so many different things in them. There are so many
It's like-
oils.
I can't see. I need my phone second.
And some of the oils
Turn the light on.
It is
are very
No,
expensive, and
it's
some of the
not.
oils are very inexpensive.
Oh. Thank you, guys.
So it's not on.
I thought you meant that one. honey.
So that makes a difference too. Like, what can I afford to buy, and when I can find them? Like, cause some of these oils, like a little bottle like this, can cost $80. Whereas a bottle, a bigger bottle for some oils is like $5.
No,
It
some
depends on how
bigger
hard
one.
it is.
This kind, the now one, they have $10, $20 for it.
Yeah.
Depends. Lavender,
Man,
it's
that
so hard to
chamomile.
find.
That chamomile
They're
is
so
so
popular.
strong.
What's that?
The chamomile is very strong. So I only put 2 drops of chamomile, 5 of bergamot, and 3 of ginger in with this, right? But it still smells very strongly of the
I need
chamomile.
I
The
need.
chamomile smells the strongest.
Do you have a grapefruit?
I don't. I need to order a grapefruit. I've been wanting one.
There's a know-it-all blend. Rigid.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Rigid. There it is. Rigid. And what was the other one?
Sage is more relaxing, right?
I don't know. Smell it. And look it up too a little bit. We should order another book.
What's the other side?
I don't like the smell of sage.
And you have to be careful with, like, to me, like, you have to be careful not to, like, you need to,
I just do like this.
yeah, often because,
Because, yeah.
see, like, if you do it this way,
Yeah. It gives me a headache. Oh, maybe
it's
that's
too strong. It's just so concentrated.
too concentrated. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, lemon sauce. So good.
Lemon, or I like all citrus.
Oh, I want this.
I'm surprised I don't have my oranges at school because I burn peppermint.
what they
I
mix.
diffuse peppermint and orange in my classroom
Uh-huh.
because that's for focus.
The lemon,
Orange.
orange.
Yeah.
I think
But I
this
love
is
lime, too.
more of not relaxing. It's
Okay.
making
Brightening.
you-
Like
Wake you up.
brightening, awake.
Got it.
Yeah,
Awake
but
you.
that doesn't work for Shavasana then. I want something for like make them more relaxed. Do you have one?
Okay, for
Borrow this,
me,
please.